As composers, we aim to write strongly expressive music. Nobody wants music that's tepid. This lesson is about how we could create and emphasize musical character by playing with the various dimensions of the music. As an example, we'll use the following little phrase, presenting it in many varied characters. The aim here is to get you thinking about all the tools we have available to create musical character. Here's the example. Now let's look at how various aspects of the music can affect the character. First, the harmony, since this is the dimension most discussed in traditional musical training. Here's the first harmonization, fairly simple and straightforward. Now, a darker version. As one would imagine, changing the harmony can change the character of the melody quite a lot. But there are many other aspects of the music we could play with to change its character as well. Perhaps the most salient is the tempo. Here's our first harmonization again, but slower. Notice how the character has become more serious, somber even. Apart from the tempo, another aspect of the music that's extremely salient is timbre. Texture also plays an important role here. Here are two more versions of our melody with very contrasting orchestrations. In the first, the melody and the oboe and the gentle accompaniment in the strings create a rather melancholic impression. Now listen to the difference when we arrange this for brass ensemble. The melancholy character has become rather solemn, even a bit majestic. Changing the register is a simple way to experiment with musical character. Compare the following two versions, for flute and then for tuba. Sometimes just changing the articulation can make an enormous difference. Articulation is really an aspect of rhythm, affecting the sounding durations. Listen to our example, now much lighter, all pizzicato. If we now present a loud version with short articulations, it becomes more aggressive. If we combine changes in various dimensions at the same time, as we did in our last example, we can greatly accentuate the differences of character. In fact, you may have noticed that sometimes in the preceding examples, I've changed the tempo a bit or the orchestration, for example, adding the double basses below the cello. This reinforces my point. To get the strongest character, we often need to experiment with several aspects of the music. And I could have made any of these contrasts even stronger by changing the harmony or the orchestration even more. Here are a couple more examples of changing several dimensions of the music at the same time. Just as a reminder, here's the original version again. Now a version with the darker harmony in a lower register with tremolos. The melody is also doubled with the clarinet. Changing the register and the texture in this way allows us to accentuate the contrast of character even more. And now a cheerful version in a quicker tempo, higher register with short articulations. When you're exploring a musical idea, it's always worth taking a few moments to try it out in different tempi, registers, textures, etc. Some of these variants will be of no interest, but often you'll discover something that makes a huge difference, greatly enhancing the character you have in mind. To help encourage this kind of thinking, one suggestion I often make to students is to create a character glossary, using common mood words as a starting point. Of course, words are less refined in defining emotions than music. For example, we can imagine several different musical versions of melancholy. For this reason, no verbal glossary can be anywhere near complete. But it is a good way to get the student composer to think about how all the aspects of the music affect character. Here's an example for triumphant. This is not by any means the only possible solution, but it gives you an idea of how to use this tool for thinking about musical character. Tempo would be moderate. Articulation firm, not too smooth nor too light. Register probably should cover all the registers. Harmony, major, rather consonant. Dynamics and texture, fairly loud. Timbre, full orchestra. Composers should aim in music with strong, clear character. The techniques described here are ways to explore musical character and to strengthen it.